So Tony, you have been talking about nothing happens. Okay, could you say a little bit more about that? I'm thinking, well, if nothing happens, would you agree there's only presence? Presence.
I don't like the word much. There's somebody else who uses it quite a lot. It turns it into, I did use it in The Open Secret, but I've just rewritten that book, by the way, and taken that title out. Because for me, somehow presence can easily be turned into another object, like being present, or presence is a sort of quality that floats around in the air. And it's very beautiful, and if you stop thinking, then suddenly there's presence, or it's, I don't know, it just, for me it's associated with some sort of object that's...
So is there another word?
But there isn't a word for this.
No.
The nearest I can get to it is being, wholeness, emptiness, nothing. There isn't a word. All there is everything. That's quite a big word. All there is everything, and everything is no thing appearing to be everything. You can only talk round it, you can't put a word to it.
So it sounds very abstract. So I'm getting on a completely other level. So,
well, it's not on another level. It is unknowable, but it's this. It's not some amazing place up in the clouds that's sort of pink and fluffy. It's you know, you can't. It is unknowable. So in that way, it's ineffable. It can't be grass. Obviously, if it could be grass, we wouldn't be here. It would just. Everybody would have it in a little bag and take it, you know, carry it around with them. But it is unknowable. But the strange thing is, it is this. You're sitting on it, you're breathing it, you're hearing it, you're thinking it. Whatever is happening is this. It never leaves. It constantly is the song. The song is this. Whatever's happening is the song. But it's unknowable. And it can't be grasped.
Sometimes people say it's only this moment, or I know the moment is another word which is very difficult because it implies that it's a before and an after. That's why I can follow it, that it doesn't exist a moment. But
no, there's no moment.
No moment. But that's why I try to use the term presence, which is...
Well, people do try to sort of talk about this. People talk about living in the moment, as though which is very similar to being here now. Mm-hmm. So people are constantly trying to say what this is, and it can't be said.
And another thing which is connected with these difficult terms of moment and presence is that everything is changing in every quote-unquote moment. The permanent change of what is. Would you agree? It's permanently changing.
I would say it appears to be changing.
Only appearing.
Yeah, only appearing. Everything is only appearing. Everything that is real and unreal. It's an appearance. It's nothing appearing to be this, and it's nothing appearing to be change, and it's also nothing that appears to make a story. Like, you know, let's be simple about this. The tree is a seed, and it grows into a tree, and appears to be a story which seems to be happening in time. That is the genius of nothing. Nothing appears to be a seed that grows into a tree and then dies again. It's a metaphor. It's a parable. It's saying, look, this is nothing appearing to be something, changing and growing and dying. But actually, it is only nothing. The whole thing is a parable. And the difficulty for the dreamer, the dream seeker, is that they take the growth of the tree as a meaningful story, like their own story. Like, I was born, I will live 75 years and then die. that must have some meaning. So that's when the whole thing shifts into a seeking story, which is based on the illusion that there's someone who is born and lives and will die. But
even if I accept there's no meaning.
No, hold on. You can't accept that there's no meaning.
No.
You, the dreamer, can't accept that there's no. I'm not trying to interrupt you, but the dreamer cannot comprehend this at all. I can't comprehend the idea that this life doesn't have any meaning, because that would mean the end of the dreamer. If my life has no meaning, then there's no meaning for me. That's suddenly the end. So the dreamer has to invest in the idea of a meaning.
This is very interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is interesting because you're going right to the nub of it. What we're doing together, or not, is touching the whole edge of this thing. And that is that the dreamer has to have meaning and purpose, and if it doesn't, it'll die. And that's what this is about.
It's interesting because I thought that it was possible for me to conceive a life without any meaning, and you would say it's an illusion. For you, life as for me as a person, it's always a meaning, even if I think it's no meaning.
But if you conceived of a life without meaning, what would be the point of you being there? Well, in one way, none at all. In another way, it brings you back to this. Oh, there's no point in anything. There's no point in me. There's no meaning. There's no purpose. There's no hope. There's no dream. There's nothing I can aim for. What is there? Oh, they're standing on the floor.
Lately, my story has less meaning.
Your story has?
For me, myself, my story has less meaning.
Less meaning?
Less meaning.
Still got a little bit though.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But less and less, I can be more content with what is. There is much more contentment and joy.
Our liberation isn't being content with what is. It's just what is. If there's something that's content with what is, there's something that's apart to be content with what is.
Yeah.
It just is what is. And that can be also, what is can also be really uncomfortable and not anything that anything would be content with.
I agree. So it's still a story in a story.
The other is, or it isn't, to be nearly whatever you said, really not me. To be nearly not me isn't to be not me.
So it doesn't have any meaning at all?
No, except that the interesting thing about this is, as I was talking a bit about this last night, and that is that there can be an apparent dissipation of me, which seems to happen over a period of time. Of course it doesn't. And in the end, it's really, in liberation, it's realised that there wasn't anything happening. But it does seem that when people come to these sort of things and hear them, the me isn't so concrete. The whole structure of the me starts to collapse. It's like a castle built. And let's be clear about this, it's actually built every morning. In deep sleep, there's no one, there's nothing. But then waking up happens, apparently, and when waking up happens, suddenly me arrives. And the whole structure of me gets out of bed and cleans its teeth. You know.
Yes.
But strangely enough, that whole structure can apparently begin to collapse. And we do talk to people who find that although there is still that circular dream going on, it doesn't have the power that it had. The final thing is altogether another story, or not a story, but it's the end of it. It's just a collapse.
And there's nothing to do.
There's nothing left.
And there's nothing to do.
No. Well, there is no one.
There's no one.
Of course there's nothing to do, because this is perfect. Why would there be anything to do? Whatever you think you're doing is perfect. It's wholeness doing this. So there never was anything to do, of course.
Well, intellectually, I
Yeah.
Ronnie, I have a question. I don't need it. My voice is pretty loud.
Oh.
I'm just wondering whether this me can die of exhaustion. You know.
Me can. Yes, but yes, certainly in a sense it sort of does. But the problem with that idea is that the seeking me will get hold of that idea and say, well, if I go all over the world and I'm seeking, use all my energy, then one day I will collapse and become. It's another method.
No, I don't mean it that way exactly. I mean the resistance, resisting the me, the I, resists all day long.
Yeah.
The only time it doesn't resist is in deep sleep. Yeah. So it wakes up and picks up all its problems again, gets up and brushes its teeth, like you said. And I think this leads to exhaustion.
Yes, it's called death. You know that thing, coffins and all that. So it is so that most apparent people, they seek until they die. The body doesn't function, and the function of seeking dies with the body. The function of seeking dies with the body, and that's liberation. So death is liberation.
I know, but it could happen before then.
Yeah, kind of.
Pure exhaustion,
Yeah, absolutely. That's all.
When you wake up in the morning, then you appear again. So when you're sleeping, there is nobody. In deep sleep, there is nobody. I mean, it's pretty scary, no?
Yeah.
To be in this state of deep sleep.
Well, there it isn't, because there's no one there to be scared.
Possible? How is this possible?
Hold on, in deep sleep there's no one to be scared.
Yeah.
There just is nothing.
And it's still, what is it? There is no meaning.
There's nothing.
This is where you are.
I'm not anywhere. But this is nothing. Yes. This is deep sleep. This is also deep sleep, but in it there's all sorts of things jumping around in red pullovers and white shirts, pretending to be something. It's actually deep sleep. But yes, in deep sleep there is no one. As a friend over there, it's very exhausting to be someone. So we need deep sleep to not be anyone.
But it feels like a bunch of zombies then running around, yeah?
Well, of course,
There's just triggers being, or you are hanging on lines being...
Yeah, but there isn't anybody at the other end of the line. This is a puppet. There's nothing in there. It thinks it can do that, but actually when it does that, it's just there's something doing that. There isn't anybody in there doing that. And it's like a puppet, but without strings. There's no one out there. There's no one out there, no. And when that wakes up, invariably, normally when waking up, the individual rushes in. The brain creates the function of this artificial.
From where?
Oh, from nothing, of course. But the brain is used as a computer to reconstruct the me every morning. Because the brain is the instrument that functions to keep the me in place. The brain is a bundle. Do you know that? The brain. If you read the science, it's fascinating. The people have discovered only in the last 5 years, and this began in Frankfurt actually, neuroscientists.
Yeah, Thomas
Metzing. That actually part of that bundle, which is amazing, is to create an artificial me. The brain creates an artificial me. And every morning it crowds back in. Of course, when there is no one, there's nothing to crowd into. There is no crowding, because there's nothing. In liberation, nothing wakes up. He cleans his teeth, but not always. It's a lazy bugger like me. So yes, deep sleep is the unknown, but so is this. It's only the dreamer that thinks they can know this. I mean, knowing it, they keep apart from it. No, there isn't anything, reading might happen or whatever, anything, everything goes on happening after liberation, but for no one.
So you don't have nightmares?
Well, I don't have anything, because liberation is total poverty. There is nothing that has anything. Nightmares may or may not happen. There's nothing left to have anything. There is only what there is, and nobody has it. It's the complete freedom of not owning anything, and nothing having any power anymore. There.
There's glimpses of
Yeah, glimpses.
Of this nothing? Is this also
Well, yes,
part of the dream?
Yeah, but nobody has those glimpses. There can be what we think, you could call a story or a glimpse of nothing, but nobody has it. There's nobody there.
Okay.
And then, then it seems invariably that somebody comes out of the other side and then wants that. But can't have it. What we call awakening. Awakening to the dream. Awakening from the dream. And then going back to the dream. Never quite the same, actually, but yeah.
I have this.
Okay.
No, it's on. I have this thought sometimes that I mean, I have this thought all the time. I guess I go around with that thought that there has to be, like, there's all different things, and there's a universe, and then there are different dimensions and all these things, and then sometimes I have this thought that there's all. I mean, I don't know if I can put it into words, but it's just like, there's nothing else but this, but I daren't go there.
The other dimensions are only this in another dimension. The universe is just this. It's a big this, but it's just this. It's what is. You know, you can sit in a lift and be in everything, and everything is there, or stand and look at the Rocky Mountains, and that's also everything. But certainly, maybe what you feel is what we're talking about here, and that is that there's something else where you don't want to go, and there definitely is. Somewhere else you don't want to go, and there's somewhere else you never will go. But also, the interesting thing is you don't have to go there, it's here. It never leaves you. It's the constant lover. I think one of the things about this for the seeker is that the seeker turns what it calls enlightenment or liberation or the other or something into something amazing and like ethereal and pink and blue and with classical music, you know. But actually, the perfect lover is very ordinary. Very, very ordinary. Whatever aches in your body is the perfect lover. Whatever you think of is the perfect lover. However warm you feel is the perfect lover. This voice is the perfect lover. It's nobody's voice, it's just any sound is the perfect lover. Anything is the perfect, everything is the perfect lover. There she goes.